On February 15, my blood sugar was 533 mgdl or 29.32 mmol. In less than 2 weeks, it was down to 108 mgdl or 6.16 mmol. Hi, I'm Geoffrey. I'm not a doctor and I have no formal education in the medical field. I'm a bad case of type 2 diabetes and I came back from the darkness with a vengeance in less than 2 weeks. And I will share with you my medical records of my progress and development. I'm making this video to help others get better from their prevailing medical condition similar to mine. And so that you will feel better after watching this video and you know that there is hope. If it's not asking too much, I would very much appreciate it if you could help support my channel by hitting the like and subscribe button and sharing the video if you find it informative and helpful. I acknowledge the fact that each of us have unique bodies and we respond differently to different treatments and different activities. But while it is true that there is no one shoe fits all solution, I think there is something correct or really beneficial in what I did, in that I recovered in the speedy manner that I did. Having diabetes is bad. Having diabetes with high sugar level was worse. Having diabetes with high sugar level and not exactly responding to insulin was a little more worse. If you think that's bad enough, having diabetes with high sugar and not exactly responding to insulin and having a surgery waiting on the side with possible complications due to blood clotting problems due to your high sugar level of your diabetes condition was hell. Like, give me a break. Oh, come on, what the? So if you think you're in a bad situation right now, I had it worse, 3 or 4 times over, and I walked out of it in 2 weeks. And I want you to replicate my success story. So smile and know that there is hope, because I've been there and I came back. On February 14, 2020, I was confined in the hospital for a different medical condition. I had an enlarged prostate which prevented me from urinating. So my bladder was about to explode. They had to administer a catheter into me so that I could urinate. The size of my prostate was 74 cc. The normal prostate is anywhere from 9 cc to 15 cc. So the size of my prostate was way off the chart. I was scheduled for a transurethral surgery wherein they would insert a metal gun called a resectoscope into my organ, and inside that metal gun was a scraper that would come out. So they would insert that inside and the scraper would scrape away part of the urethra. They would enlarge the tube where urine flows, and a different scraper would cut through the enlarged prostate so that I could urinate again normally. So it's either I undergo that surgical procedure or I have to wear a catheter for life. So every 4 days or 5 days, I would be replacing a new catheter. So it was a no-brainer that the surgical procedure would correct my my existing medical condition at that time. While I was confined at the hospital, an intravenous on one hand and the catheter on my organ, they conducted all sorts of examination and blood tests. And that was when I first found out that I was a diabetic, a bad case of diabetic. So my sugar level was 533 mg per dl. So I was 533 and the normal level was 107, or in the other metric, I was 29.32 when the normal level was 5.9. So it was that bad. My sugar level was that bad. Over the next 24 hours, they kept pumping me with insulin. I was being injected left arm, right arm, in the stomach, on my thigh. But I wasn't responding in the manner that they expected me to respond. My blood sugar kept rebounding. So it would go down and then back up again. On February 15, these are my sugar level readings. And on February 16, these are my sugar level readings. So, my doctor, my nephrologist, was talking to me. He was asking me, what on earth are you eating? Why is your sugar level so high? And we're pumping you with insulin, but it's not responding in the manner that they expected it to. It would go down slightly and then rebound back up. So the doctor was cautioning me of possible complications. I might have blood clotting issues, so I should be careful of injuries and the possibility of amputation in the event that I had an injury that might not heal properly. So he was cautioning me early on. My doctors were professional and they delivered the message in a professional and a positive way. But you don't really need to be a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together. So on one hand, I needed that transurethral surgery to correct my prevailing enlarged prostate condition. It was an internal procedure which would cause some internal injury. On the other hand, my existing diabetic condition poses a high risk because I might not heal properly. So it was at that point in time that I felt my life was going down the drain, and it's like being flushed down the toilet. It was at that point in time that I shut down and I zoned out. So I was lying in bed, intravenous on one hand, catheter on my organ. I was just looking up the ceiling. I could hear the doctor talking, but I was no longer listening. All that I could remember were words, amputation, complication, blood clot, high sugar, be careful. And the words in my mind, end game, dead end, game over, checkmate. It was the end of the tunnel. I was anxious, depressed, down and out, and all sorts of doomsday scenario were floating around in my mind. It was at this point in time that my partner stepped up and said, "You're not dying on me, not on my watch." So my partner spent the next 24 hours doing extensive research in the internet. While I appreciated the words of encouragement, for me at that time it was no more than words of comfort to try to make me feel better. I mean, what could you possibly know? you're not educated in the medical field. Here, on the other hand, are two expert doctors with years and years of medical training and practice, and they're telling me that it's bad. But the irony of it is, it's at that point in time when you have nothing more to lose that you're willing to try just about anything and everything, because you have nothing more to lose. On February 17, 2020, my partner implements a drastic change in my diet. I was immediately put on steamed cauliflower and blunt oatmeal with sky flakes and chia seeds. I was allowed only black coffee and hot tea and warm water. No rice, no meat, no fish, nothing else except that. At that time, I really did not care what I ate or did not eat, what I drank or did not drink. So I just obediently complied. I was thinking that if I lived to survive another week, I would get to eat chicken or pork again next week. That afternoon, I broke the 200 mark. My sugar went down to 160 only to rebound back up beyond the 200 level. On February 18, my sugar level was lingering in the 200 above level, which was still pretty high. On February 19, my doctors agreed to discharge me to continue my treatment at home. Before sending me home, they attempted to remove my catheter to see if I could urinate on my own. They gave me 8 hours to try to urinate on my own. But in a span of only 1 hour, my bladder was again filled up and I was in extreme pain. So they had to re-administer a new catheter. So while my sugar level had slightly improved, my prostate issue was no better off. And I was still hoping that surgery would probably be on the table to correct my existing condition. In the week that followed, I ate only steamed cauliflower and blunt oatmeal, sky flakes, crackers on the side. I drank black coffee and hot tea, and warm or hot water. On February 27, I was scheduled to return to change my catheter. But before seeing the doctors, I underwent another round of laboratory procedures, including ultrasound and blood test. I was praying and hoping for some improvements. To my surprise, and to the amazement of my doctors, it was more than just some improvements. It was an amazing recovery. My blood sugar had gone down to 6.16 mmol per L, normal being 5.9. So from a high of 29.32, it was now down to 6.16, near normal. My prostate had gone down to 32.1 cc. From 74, it had gone down to 32. So they removed my catheter and I was able to urinate on my own. The doctor informed me that I no longer required a surgery. So I had hit 2 birds with 1 stone. My sugar level went down. My prostate problem was also addressed. Immediately, my maintenance medication was reduced. Some were completely eliminated while others were continued at a reduced level. Over the next few months, I continued on with my steamed cauliflower and the bland oatmeal and skyflakes diet, along with black coffee and hot Lipton tea and warm water. By the end of June, on my next checkup, I was pleasantly surprised. So this time, my blood level was down to 5.7 mmol per liter, with normal being 5.9. My prostate had gone down to 12 cc, with a normal being 15. So this is the story of my winning formula. It addressed not only my high sugar problem, but my enlarged prostate problem as well. Steamed cauliflower, bland oatmeal, skyflakes cracker, black coffee, Lipton hot tea, and warm or hot water. On hindsight, what I effectively did was to remove the carbs and sugar from my diet. Just like what all the other successful recoveries from diabetes did. You start out by changing your diet, and then you continue on with the willpower and the discipline to hang on to it. And you will get better. I went from a sugar level of 533 mg per dl with difficulty in responding to insulin shots to 108 mg per dl in 2 weeks, and further down to 103 mg per dl in 4 months. So again, friends, if you're feeling lost, frustrated, hopeless, depressed, devastated, cheer up. I've been there and back. There is hope, and I know that you can do it also. Once again, if it's not asking too much, I would appreciate if you could support my channel by hitting the like and subscribe button and sharing this video if you found it helpful or informative. Thank you for watching. Godspeed and a good health to all of you.